few years ago I was looking for a roommate. The vacancy had risen because my previous one was a Swedish guy who had been having some trouble with his girlfriend. Eventually it got too much for me to handle and I asked that he move. So as you do, I put some ads up on various sites, and it didn't take long before a guy named Rob responded. We messaged back and forth a couple of times and arranged to meet up one day at Starbucks. I was immediately struck by his easy charm and wit. You couldn't hope to meet a person who was easier to talk to. He was an art school student with ambition of making it big as a painter. How exactly one would go about that, I have no idea. But we became friends straight away and I didn't think twice about letting him move in. One day shortly after moving in, Rob said, "Hey, I know this is a weird question, but are you by chance scared of clowns?" he asked with a weird smile. "I suppose so," I replied, wondering why anyone would ask. I probably watched Stephen King's It at a very young age. "Are you scared of them?" "Oh damn," he said. "I am a clown on the weekends. I do charity events and fundraisers, visit sick kids in hospitals sometimes." "Is that a problem for you?" "I mean, I know some people are seriously afraid of clowns." Oh, of course not. That sounds cool. It's just the bad clowns that scare me, you know. I have never personally known one before, but Rob didn't seem scary. "I promise, I don't kill kids," he said with a grin. He threw his head back and drained the last of the coffee from the cup. "It's the adults I go for." I burst out laughing at his dark sense of humor. What a cool guy, I thought. I'm actually going to be looking forward to this new roommate situation. Our first few weeks living together went about as smoothly as possible, and things were a good deal more peaceful than they had been with my previous roommate. I definitely didn't miss being woken up at unholy hours by my past roommate arguing with his girlfriend over the phone. Rob would get up, go to class, come home, and paint or have a quick drink with a friend or two. Sometimes on the weekends he'd put on his clown suit and go out to those charity events that he talked about. He didn't seem like a scary clown. He was so cool, in fact, he even began to change my views of clowns. There was a freezer in our kitchen that I told Rob not to bother using. It hadn't been right since before he moved in. I kept meaning to call someone to come out and look at it or replace it, but I guess it must have slipped my mind. One day about 5 months after Rob moved in, I came home to find the lights on but total silence in the house, which was strange. Rob was always watching TV or playing his guitar. He hated silence, but I really knew something was up when I noticed something different about that freezer. The freezer door was open. I slowly walked over and looked inside. There appeared to be chunks of a human body all cut up neatly and stored tightly on the shelves. I can't really explain how I felt in that moment. I panicked. What can you even do in that situation? My mind was racing and I thought back to the day I met Rob and that he had made that joke about only killing adults. Just then a faint shuffling noise came from Rob's room. I didn't know what to do. For some reason I tiptoed over to his room to see what was happening. I don't know. I suppose adrenaline just takes over at that point. I peered in and sure enough there he was, laying in the floor with a panicked look in his eyes as he stared at the ceiling. After a long delay in which I'm sure he was aware of my presence, he looked up at me and screamed, "You're sick, I'm calling the police." Clowns are the worst roommates, don't you think? Always uncovering the dead bodies in places you specifically told them not to look. I'm afraid I'll have to kill him too. So now my old Swedish friend has a dorm partner to sleep alongside him in that big freezer. Oh, by the way, I'm looking for a new roommate if anyone's interested.